Day 11 of the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics, and we are here at the Aomi Urban Sports Park for medal determination time in the football five-a-side. Slightly better weather than the semi-finals, which were really quite grisly conditions, so perfect conditions for one of the most mesmeric sports on the Paralympic schedule. If you haven't seen football five-a-side before, it is quite extraordinary, the skills that are on display. And whatever happens today, we will be making history, because a bronze medal will hang round the necks of a nation never to have been bronze before. It is the bronze medal match between the People's Republic of China and Morocco. So as the players come out, you can see how we've eventuated at this point. Two fabulous semi-finals, two hard-fought semi-finals saw Argentina and Brazil progress to the gold medal match. And these two sides right here, China and Morocco, did not give an inch against the South American greats. Morocco, whatever they do, every kick they take is blazing a trail for African football five-a-side. No team had ever reached a Paralympics until Morocco did in Rio. No team had ever won until Morocco had here. And China, well, they would have had great hopes of progressing to the medal match for the first time since Beijing, but they met their match against an inspired Argentina. They start with Liu, Jiang, Yu, Zhu, and Wu. A couple of changes, Wu in for the goalkeeper Wan Sheng, and their top scorer, Zhu Ruming, coming in for Tang Zhizuan. Zhu enduring a torrid time against a tough Argentinian defense meant he can add to the 3 goals he scored, all of China's goals, in fact, so far this Paralympics, but with 20 of his 25 shots in the tournament coming on target. He is quite extraordinary when he gets the opportunity. A sighting of their coach, Zhu, his first Paralympic Games, and looking to end things with a medal. The Moroccan team takes a very similar shape to their semi-final as well. The only man reinstated is Hussam Gili, who until the semi-final had played every minute of the Paralympics, but Kamal Boulam did a sterling job in defense, but they could not deny Brazil, who could only break them down by virtue of a cruel, cruel ricochet of captain Imad Berka for an own goal after some Jeffinho brilliance. But Samir Bara in goal has been inspired. El Habib Aikbaja has been resolute in defense, and Zuhair Snizla is one of the players of the tournament with 4 goals. Plenty of talent on the bench to make an impact. And their coach, Driss El Muntaki, the 45-year-old, looking to add a medal to his African 2015, 17 and 19 titles. What an incredible job he's done for African five-a-side football. Lucio Morgado is the man in the middle, with Ban Yasushi and Rafael Gonzalez assisting him out there.
Ladies and gentlemen, the anthem of the People's Republic of China. 中華人民共和国国歌の演奏です。起来，不愿做奴隶的人们，把我们的血肉铸成我们心的上升。中华民族到了最危险时候，每个人被迫着发出最后的吼声。 مدى السعدة وحما دمت ممتدى وحما عشت في الأوطان للعلا عنوان لكل زمان بالروح بالجسد الله والوطن والملك.
The national anthems of the respective nations complete us. Indeed, it is a history-making event for both China and Morocco, fighting for first-time medals at the Paralympic Games in terms of bronze. It is a Moroccan side, though, that has made a little bit of history, and for a Chinese side, an opportunity to claim a first-ever bronze. Goalkeepers who are sighted help the captains with an exchange of pennants ahead of this final. And this is an utterly captivating sport. I think the word you used was mesmerizing. It is. It's completely captivating. I think the significance of the guides as well, not to be underestimated. They play such huge roles for the respective goal scorers. But indeed, China have been living and training as a National Paralympic Committee, training as a team in an individual area, focusing on building towards success of these games. For Morocco, largely built around the Berkane outfit, whose complex, the Renaissance complex, has just been utterly changed. It's a multi-sport facility that is glorious. They could be fielding their Berkane club side, but are not, with Bara, one of the exceptional players, as we conduct the coin toss.
Yes, Bara, one of the exceptional players, pulled out a number of instinctive saves against the Brazilians. They were under somewhat of a tirade, although very, very slim on good opportunities for the Brazil, coming from that mountainous defence that they had, led by, or inspired, the invention of the Moroccan coach, who is also one of the guides on the field of play. You can see right there the field of play split into two-thirds, a defensive, a midfield and an attacking. So the defensive guide is the goalkeeper. He's sighted. All the other players on the field are visually impaired of a B1 classification, though they wear patches and goggles to ensure fairness, because there is some disparity in the visual impairments. The coaches, like Zhu of China there, he will be barking instructions to the midfield, and then there is one more guide on the pitch. He's situated behind the goal, behind the opposition goal, and he will give instructions as to angles, position of opposition defenders, and for set pieces, you might even see him pull out an instrument, a metallic instrument, to tap the posts and the crossbar, just to give an oral representation of where the goal is for the striker. Last thing to mention is a sound device embedded into the middle of the ball, known as the sound system, in fact, as per the official rules, so that all the players know where the ball is. And we can get underway very shortly in one of the most skillful games at the Paralympics. So we are underway, and it is Morocco starting off and at the feet very, very sharply at their key attacking threat. Snizzler has been quite sensational this Paralympics, just 22. It's amazing to think this is his second, so plenty of years in the game for the man who China really are toiling to dispossess at the moment. But they do win it back, and they win it back through Yu, who is sparky in the midfield for them. Just demonstrating right there the level of control these players who have no sighting of the ball are capable of demonstrating. But Morocco are tough and they fight. No good, and China will look to break.
It's incredible to see these players rely on so many of their other heightened senses in how they can control the ball, how they're able to move it around the pitch and indeed to find the finishes that some of them do. Snisler has been outstanding. His 4 goals through this tournament for Morocco, who turn out in white rather than the red they often play in. This is a Chinese side, though, who are looking to claim an historic victory here, as they would take a bronze medal if they did win this match. Bara in goal. How significant his performance is likely to be for Morocco today. Good run being made here by Zhang Jiabin, the captain.
Zhang Jiabin, one of the key players for this Chinese team. You know, able to, real box-to-box player. Does the defensive duties, though, can be guilty of being a little exuberant in his defending. 11 fouls, the most in the tournament. In fact, China do have a disciplinary problem. They've committed the most fouls in the tournament, but at the moment it's about their attack, one of which Zhu will be looking to have a say in, wearing number 11. 3 goals already in Tokyo.
2-man defense from Morocco with Berke and Gili.
Slight miscontrol in the corner. Usually you see a small tap and then a run from one of the players, and it trickles away from China, and we'll see a Moroccan corner now. And you just see there the Chinese goalkeeper, Wu, coming out to organize his defense. So he's actually confined to the rectangular box in front of goal for the game when the ball is in play. Can't leave that, otherwise it'll be a penalty to the opposition. But when the ball's dead, he's allowed to venture out, and you can see right there, doing the organizational duties of his defense. As Morocco seek to unlock China, but a good press from that 3-man wall. Morocco unable to circumvent it. Both teams feeling their way into the game at the moment.
Certainly are. It's not an overly cautious approach, but there is maybe a little element of the tentative about certain players. I don't think Snisler has ever been anything but all-out attack, though. Good run here from Morocco, looking to round the Chinese defense, but it is Yamang who has come out on top as he's driven El Habib Al Ait Bajet to send that ball beyond the goal line.
Well, excellent intercept as China look to go through the heart of the field of play, eventuates at the feet of Zhu. But Morocco, as is their way, they fight so hard for every ball. They manage to squeeze a shot away, not enough power to trouble Wu Limin. And he immediately distributes to the captain. China looking to play at a fast pace, just like Brazil did against Morocco in the semi-final. The ball very, very rarely out of play. It was utterly relentless. And here's what the people have come to watch. Snisler in full flight, dribbling, shooting. Oh my goodness! What a goal! What a goal from Snisler. I think he caught everybody unaware. The angle of the low shot, quite exquisite.
Zuhair Snisler gives Morocco the ideal advantage here, and the very early stages. Scoring inside the opening 4 minutes is a fantastic approach. Was he going to take a shot from there? He was marshaled by 2 Chinese defenders, but to get that shot away on the angle it came in on, go beyond the goalkeeper, ricocheting off the woodwork. And Morocco with a fantastic lead as Snisler snaffles goal number 5 of his tournament.
Well, not much that Wu Limin could have done about that. He was well positioned, but that was pretty much the only position that Snisler could have shot to ricochet in off the post. And a pin-perfect finish from Snisler, the Moroccan strike man. So China trailing early in this bronze medal match. And Morocco sniffing a bit of history, but long way to go. China get their first shot in on goal. They'll need more than that to beat Sami Abara.
Yeah, might be aging goalkeeper, but he certainly is thoroughly experienced. Is Bara approaching his 38th birthday?
Well, nicknamed Buffon after the great Italian goalkeeping legend Gianluca Buffon, who went well into his 40s. So no sight of Bara hanging up the gloves just yet. And it's good fortune for Morocco because he has just been in fine form for the whole of the Paralympics at Tokyo. But China finding some space down the right flank and looking to exploit a fractured Moroccan defence. Important leg in there, though. Clears play to beyond the halfway line, and now we're seeing the control of Zhang, who's upended.
This has been a thoroughly stoic Moroccan defence throughout, though. They've been difficult to score against. They do tend to follow the ball, but here's Sneesler getting on the run, going for potentially another shot. Plenty of appeals for his hand. Feeling he was being tugged on, is Sneesler.
Well, referee Lucio Morgado was the man pursing his lips on the whistle for one of the semi-finals, and he was quite brilliant, actually. Really controlled the semi-final well in tough conditions with the rain pelting down, and he's refereeing with a firm hand on the tiller at the moment. And they'll have to, because Morocco are tough, real hard men in defense. Sneesler looking to get a tackle early in, but of course, the three-man whip of the Moroccans at the back, halting China's progress, and they retreat once again to build from their own defensive third. The captain, exquisite footwork, gets the shot away. And already we're seeing the threat that Zhang Jiabin poses, attacking from the midfield. Sneesler, though, with a chance to make it to...
Glorious save from Wu Limin. That is, he had his body weight going in one direction and the shot came in at the opposite direction. So to change the weight, still get a firm hand on that is thoroughly impressive from the Chinese goalkeeper.
Incredibly impressive. As you said, moving in the other direction and the shift of his weight to get a big hand. But alarmingly for China already, Sneesler looks like a man in the mood. So Sneesler will try and get around the outside arc of the wall. In fact, 4 men in the wall there. That's kind of the respect that this Chinese defense are paying Sneesler, because ordinarily you'll see 3 men in the wall and then another floating defender, but all 4 of them looking to almost crescent him into the corner and make the going as tough as possible.
And they're going to need to, because Sneesler is quick, he is dangerous, he seems to have a keen sense of where the goal is. Can take shots with his back to goal, turn and shoot. He is going to need to go past a collection of Chinese defenders who tend to get back, but the acute angle they forced him into earlier didn't deny him the opportunity to score, so he's that kind of player. But China are up against it here. Is there a goal down?
Will China go to their key goal scorer, Zhu, who'll be looking to end his Paralympics on more of a high. He was in a battle with Argentina all game, as we see. Quite remarkable finish from Sneesler. The guide, in fact, was astonished that the ball went in. He couldn't believe that the shot had been taken and cannoned in off the post. Great to see the guides pour onto the pitch and celebrate with the players afterwards, but with a weapon like that up front, I mean, what a gift Morocco have.
Yeah, 5 goals in this is 5th game and an opportunity to secure a historic medal for Morocco.
Well, Morocco continue to nip away at the heels of the Chinese. Like a pack of white jersey terriers. They hunt in a pack as well. 3 of them rounding Zhu, who does very, very well to work his way into the penalty area. Snizzler, a minor collision with Tang, who looks to have come on for China. And China enjoying a nice period of possession. Zhu squeezes one off, but Bara, too good, too quick, diving low, beats the ball away. Zhu will take possession again and look to have another crack.
Good goalkeeping from Bara, certainly. China showing a willingness to maintain their presence inside that final third. What it does do for Morocco is it keeps the pressure on. So when the ball is in the final thirds, there's an element of pressure that is only released when it's suddenly headed up toward the halfway line or beyond. Well, and that's what somebody like Snizzler can do, release pressure as well. Chance here for a second.
Oh! Sizzling Snizzler makes it a brace. And how do you contain this Moroccan marksman?
Oh, that is splendid, simply splendid from Snizzler. Talking about releasing the pressure, I simply meant to describe the fact that he's taken the ball out of his own final third, but to take it from inside your own final third, go beyond the halfway line, dribble virtually the entire Chinese team, and then send a ball in of that quality directly over the diving goalkeeper. That is sensational. 6 goals now, and this is 5th game. Morocco, 2 goals to the good.
Well, that was an effort that was noteworthy from Zhu, but unfortunately he's in the shadow of the Moroccan strike man, Snizzler, as we try and pick our jaws up off the floor after that goal. Possibly the goal of the Paralympics from the young Moroccan.
Yeah, I need a moment. That was quality, absolute quality.
Incredible, wasn't it?
This is one of the things, although this team is largely dominated by the Berkane players, he is one of those who's not from Berkane, and he is showing continually why he is so incredibly highly rated.
Well, he was a constant threat for Brazil. This is excellent running. But momentum getting away in the end from Liu, who looked to attack with pace and directness. Yes, he was a constant threat for Brazil. He just couldn't quite find the finish, in fact. But today he is a man possessed with only 9 minutes gone of the game on a hat-trick. But his counterpart, Zhu, gets another shot away, and he himself looks like a man revived.
Yeah, suddenly we've seen 2 shots come in. But you can't be starting to play your game when you're 2 goals down. But Zhu is a dangerous goal scorer, and here is Snizzler potentially for a hat-trick. Clash between the goalkeeper and the Moroccan striker here.
Well, great courage from the Chinese keeper. Snizzler moving at pace and bearing down on goal. That's wonderful to see. The respect and the camaraderie that exists in the football five-a-side community. No malice, just 2 competitive spirits going at each other. And it's a great game so far. Morocco leading by 2, but China certainly fashioning opportunities for themselves more often than not from at the right feet, or right foot rather, of Zhu Ruming.
Yeah, they're not doing too much wrong, China. I mean, that first goal on almost any other day would not have happened from that sort of angle. So to get the shot away was splendid from Snizzler. The second goal was absolutely special, and you have those moments every so often. China have not been outplayed, but they are down by 2. And this is the man who would largely have to take responsibility on his shoulders for scoring the goals if they are to come back into this tie. Approaching the 10-minute mark.
They're in good touch, the Chinese, as demonstrated by that run from Tang, but really ends up going nowhere. And bad news for China is it's at the feet of Snisler, who they do well to thwart finally. Just looked at times that there's been a string attached to his foot and to the ball. Wonderful control on that length of the field run that led to the goal. But we're seeing here as well the Moroccan strategic backbone, and that is their defence. Their defence work so hard. They're led by Imad Berka, the 35-year-old. He hasn't missed a second of the Paralympics. He is totemic for this Moroccan side in terms of his captaincy, but in terms of the work rate that he demonstrates at every moment on the field. As we take a water break. Water breaks halfway through each half, and an opportunity for coaches to deliver instructions.
If you go back over this opening 10 minutes or so, as I say, I mean, China and Morocco, there's not a huge difference between what they're doing and how they're doing it. The humidity, bear in mind, is very high in Tokyo. And the temperatures, despite the overcast conditions, are relatively high as well. A real field that will be uncomfortable for the players. But 10 odd minutes having been played, Morocco lead by 2, courtesy of the scintillating Snisler up front. But Gili is among those who stood up today. So too Captain Berka. And they've outnumbered every attacker. And they've managed to put a second player on the attacker with a huge regularity. Just kept China at bay. Zhu has started to come into his own, unleashing 2 shots. The difference is that his shots have failed to stay down. Had they been a little lower, he might very well have been looking at least 1 goal back. Snisler, however, has been keeping his shots powerful and low, and you spoke about how he's got almost got a string attached to the ball when it stays at his feet. Yeah, it's like Velcro the way he dribbles sometimes. But the shots are powerful and on target. I'm still in disbelief at the angle of the first goal. Should not have happened. Marshalled by 2 Chinese defenders.
Wow, which do you pick? Which do you pick? It's a nice conundrum if you're a Moroccan fan. And one that these Moroccans may well get to discuss with a bronze medal round their neck, should they be able to maintain this lead. And they will do if they continue to shut out the Chinese attackers as obdurately as they have in the first 10 minutes. We lose an eye mask. China attack with their captain. This is good. He's still got a chance, but ball evading his touch at the vital moment. Zhu looking in the mood. Zhu shooting. Whizzing past the outside of the right upright.
And finally, when he keeps one down, he sends it wide. But for Zhu, a proven goal scorer, to get into the positions he has is a suggestion that the Moroccan defence is not standing quite so stoically today, and that's credit to the way China are playing. As Hattab is going to make his way on.
So we bid farewell to Snisler temporarily, and Abdurazak Hattab, the 30-year-old from Casablanca, takes to the field. Big shoes to fill. But it'll be into the game early and harrying the Chinese defenders, who do well to maneuver their body into the way of the newcomer, making his first minutes, in fact, of this Paralympics. So big moment for Hattab.
Yeah, that's certainly the difference between China and Morocco, is the fact that Morocco do have players that have yet to get minutes. Hattab getting his first now, and Abdelali Aid Al-Hakam is the reserve goalkeeper who finds himself without any minutes in this tournament. For China, every player has at least 2 games under his belt coming into this.
Well, it's been interesting what China have done with their goalkeepers. They've toed and froed slightly. Wong was reinstated for the semi-final, having missed the last game of their group stage, and then Zhu coming back in, so they ended up playing the same number of minutes, but no matter what goalkeeper combination they've gone for, they have leaked goals. Wong conceding a couple of penalties, and really through no fault of his own, Wu Limin being undone by the brilliance of Snizzler today.
Opportunity potentially for People's Republic of China to pull one back here. This is a great looking attack. It's gone into the face of the Moroccan defender, Imad Berka, who's lost his eye shades as a result.
Well, that truly is body on the line stuff. Berka wears one to the face, looks...
Yeah, he's got blood in the mouth, so that is going to be a moment where he's headed off for at least a moment.
Well, these will be his first seconds not on the field, and that's what it takes to stop the Moroccan captain. That's the dedication that the 35-year-old has led with. He's been brilliant for Morocco. We'll just have to see what they can do without him as China go on the attack. Morocco would like some possession in the China half at the moment. They've been manacled in their own defensive third. Looks like they've given away a free kick as well here. So the foul's mounting up a little bit for the Moroccans. They have to be mindful, because in football five-a-side, if you accumulate 5 fouls as a team, then the 6th foul and the subsequent fouls afterwards in that half mean that it is a double penalty kick from the second spot that you can see in between the dotted line and the top of the penalty arc, and no wall can be formed. So that's quite serious if that happens, but still a little bit of a way to go for the Moroccans.
And speaking of serious here, it's Buchlam who's made his way on for the captain Berka. As you say, first minutes not on the pitch for Morocco. And one wonders how that is going to change the complexion of this tie. His leadership is invaluable, so too his play. Buchlam does have 3 games under his belt, albeit only a handful of minutes between those games.
Well, that was well worked by the Chinese. Interesting to see the Moroccans go for a 4-man wall, and they're happy to leave the Chinese captain, Zhang Jiabin, unattended. And the clink, clink, clink that you heard as well, that was the guide using a metal instrument to hit the posts to let the Chinese players know precisely where the goal is. The sensory heightenedness of these players is something to behold. As we go to the Chinese set piece.
Here it is again.
Barra, the man who can't be beaten by an opposition player at the moment, up to the task again. But China getting closer and closer with every shot they take.
So it's 2 training ground moves that we've seen from China. One for the false start on the initial free kick, coming wide left. The second played short right. Zhu getting the shot away. Corner it is here.
Again, the Moroccan defense so hungry to get on top of the Chinese. And the Moroccan counter-attack failing due to the lack of control from their strike man, Abdulrazak Hattab. Yet to get a firm foothold in the game. Zhu takes another shot, this one wildly wide left, and he takes a clatter to the ankle as well for his troubles. Didn't look...
There's no real foul there. All it's done is the follow-through on his leg. The momentum took it into, it looked to be Hussam Gilly's knee, or at least the top part of his shin. And that's going to hurt Zhu. but absolutely no foul in there.
Just part of the rough and tumble of football five-a-side. You'll have noticed throughout the game that it's maybe a little more lenient in terms of physical contact than the 11-a-side grass game that most of the watchers will be probably familiar with. It's more of a credit to the game, in fact. It means tougher tackles, better flow, and that flow creates opportunities for guys like that to produce wonder finishes.
So it's a clever timeout here because it gives China an opportunity to take a minute to try to deal with the injury to Xu. That will have hurt them. He might have a little discomfort playing, but it seems he's going to want to run this off, and he's going to be expected to run it off as well as the leading scorer for China, who finished second in Group A and played well, almost beyond themselves with their 6 points, losing only to Brazil, and then lost out to Argentina in the semi-final, 2-0. For Morocco, though, they are a side that scored the 2 early goals. The first still from a ridiculous angle, being marshalled away from goal, wide. Snisler, by 2 Chinese defenders, gets a shot away beyond the goalkeeper and comfortably into the back of the net.
You almost have to feel for China somewhat, because they put up an excellent display against Brazil and they were undone by some of the most magical players on the planet. In the semi-final, it was 2 moments of brilliance from Espinillo, the competition top scorer, to take them out of gold medal contention. Then here they've come up against an inspired Snisler. So they're doing everything right as a team, but consistently they're coming up against a magic man who has the answer for their defense.
The magic man, that's an apt description. Maybe a chance for a third Moroccan goal here. Hatab is trying to get involved.
Does so well to keep it in play and then find a searching ball through the middle. Morocco deal with it expertly. Chance here with some confusion. Oh, long-range instinctive shot. Wu had to be alert. Hatab showing what he can do when the goal is begging.
Grand save from Wu Limin, diving to his left. A comfortable height, it must be said, but that was going well beyond him. Well, this is lining up 4 in a row here, are Morocco. They're certainly not worried about leaving space open in various areas of the pitch. And if one tackle is missed, it's an expectation that the next is there to cover up and clean. But it is going to, if they continue with this tactic, it is going to tire them out, because they're going to be covering, as a group, far greater percentage of this pitch. But if it works for them...
could be in here. Just gets the ball clumsily caught underneath his feet. Looks to have picked up a knock for his troubles as well. Play or stop, and that really is, that's the major threat for China, isn't it? They're camped in the Moroccan defensive third, but Morocco's ability to counter-attack and get beyond the Chinese last defender. You know, the Moroccan defense, almost like the Hydra. You beat one, and then 2 rear up in its place. Everywhere you turn is a white jersey.
I didn't think we'd be getting to Greek mythology, but I'm glad we've got in the way of the Hydra. Yeah, you've got these additional defenders that seemingly, as we look at Berka, the captain, the good news here is that he's going to be fine. He did have a little blood in the mouth. But yes, the ultimate point is they've always got somebody who is able to slot in as a cover for anybody who might miss a challenge or might see a player go beyond them. And this is the only team that has genuinely frustrated Brazil in terms of goal scoring.
Husam Gili will make way for the captain to come back. And good timing, because Morocco, their objective now is to see out this half without conceding. They've got 5 minutes to negotiate, but they do need to tidy up the challenges. Another foul. That's number 3 in the half. So they maybe won't trouble the accumulated fouls scenario. But they don't want to position themselves in the referee's mind that they are in a fouling mood, because that could come back to bite them in the second half. They want to be painting a picture of toughness, but of fairness. I wonder what set piece the Chinese will employ here.
Yeah, fair
on this
point.
Free kick.
Fair point. This Chinese side look well drilled. You can see that they've got the tactics that they have discussed. They've worked through. They've been able to practice. Zhu is dangerous from these set pieces. He can unleash at any angle. But do they go short? Do they go left? Do they go right? Are they going to attempt to send the ball beyond the wall in front? Instead, they've gone toward the open player, but missed the initial pass out wide to Captain Zhang.
So the slightest inaccuracy means that Zhang doesn't receive the intended pass. And a wasted chance by China. We see that the clock is stopped. No extra time in football five-a-side. The clock stops for pauses in the match when the ball goes out of play. So more of like a North American sport buzzer system. The clock counts down, gets to 0, that's the end of the match. Or the end of the half, rather. Yeah, getting a half ahead of myself.
It is interesting to see how they've changed the regulations slightly, as we see Snisla back on as Khattab is whipped off. Snisla's had his rest, and after rest, what can he do?
Oh. Well, he can create enough confusion in the Chinese defence to have forced a corner and almost an own goal. Oh, that was very close. And that is a measure of the man's presence. He wasn't even on the ball, but the sheer presence of him in the Chinese defensive atmosphere, creating that bit of panic where flailing legs kicking in a disorientated fashion as Snisla tries to battle his way through. Can't get round the wall, so decides to drive through them. But it is strong stuff from the Chinese, who themselves are now employing a 4-person wall to make it difficult for Snisla to circumvent.
Yeah, they know who the danger man is, they know where he is, and they would rather commit everybody to trying to prevent him from scoring, although he gets a shot away despite 4 defenders around him. And this time it's tugged well wide of target and flush across the face of Wu Limin's goal. But again, testament to how good a player he is and how well respected he is.
Well, he's back on the ball and muscling off Chinese defenders. 3 jerseys around him, but he pirouettes away with a beautiful drag back. Works the ball onto his right foot, but that one slides off well wide, not troubling the goalkeeper. A sigh of relief for the Chinese, but Snisla picking up right where he left off. Just fabulous control. It's been a high-class bronze medal match so far.
It has
Morocco
indeed.
drive through the hearts of the Chinese defense. Again, confusion reigns. And a ricochet off the captain, Zhang. Sees Morocco enjoy their most concerted period of pressure since the Snisla brace.
So continues to take shots, does Snisla. Last couple, however, have gone a little wide. You can see in the background the foul count mounting up for Morocco. Bear in mind, it's now changed from 3 to 5 before the double penalties come into play. One of the changes from Rio Paralympic Games. Also, just playing the 20 minutes instead of 25 minutes has been one of the regulation changes. But Morocco have been failing to use their set pieces to genuinely test China, who have been using their set pieces far more wisely, but as yet have no reward. There's Zhang.
Well, all that being said, it is Morocco who are carving themselves out the opportunities at the moment. Prior to that attempt, it's Morocco who've had the last 4 attempts on goal. And unfortunately for China, pulling the trigger from that far out, that inaccurately, is not going to trouble the man in the cap for Morocco. Just a wonderful shot stopper, wonderful leadership presence. He's got that aura in his goalkeeping area, and that extends beyond into the penalty area for his defenders to feel assured.
Quality defence again here from Morocco, charging at the man in possession and not bustling their way with the ball as a result. But yes, Barra in goal is not to be underestimated in terms of his quality and his leadership. He'll just collect this ball as it comes from the opposite side and toss it up towards Snisla, who is not quite in possession. But his leadership abilities, his calls, his ability to communicate, and the trust placed in him by his defence, so much of that leadership comes through with the communication from him.
So another foul against the Moroccans, some clumsiness in the challenges. We're up to 14 fouls. Snisla, for all his brilliance in front of goal, is what you might call a classic striker when it comes to defence. Timing not necessarily impeccable. The enthusiasm's there, but maybe the precision in the challenge is absent. So giving away another foul and giving China a chance to attack. Ball flies across the face of goal, out across the byline. China retreat, 3 minutes remaining of the half distribution from Barra. Quite excellent. And at the feet of the man who opened the scoring, added a double, is responsible for this handsome Moroccan advantage. He's still in possession. Will it be a hat-trick? It sure will! Top bins off the right-hand upright. Sensational Snisla. The man cannot be contained.
How to give your side an unthinkably large advantage in one half. This man has scored 4 goals in the entire competition, and suddenly comes into this bronze medal match. Even though he's not spent the entire half on the pitch, he's managed to get 6 shots away, and he's scored with 3 of them now. That's brilliant from Snisla. And all 3 with the left boot. Powerful. He's gone low, he's gone mid, he's gone high. He's coming from the angle, he's controlled before unleashing, and he has the first hat-trick of these games.
Well, what a treat Mr. Snisla is laying on for us on day 11 of the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics. Maybe you're not quite of that thought if you're supporting the People's Republic of China. Surely not a 4th. Oh, well.
That was the easiest.
Snisla says, I'll stop you right there. I only score worldies.
This one was too easy. I can't put this one away. Surely not. It's turned into that sort of match now where China, despite the fact that they've put in massive effort and have carved out genuine opportunities, they've applied the pressure that's seen them win the set pieces, they've just been unable to cope with the brilliance of Snisla. And that is, I mean, they have not been so completely dominated that they should be trailing by 3 goals heading into the break. But Snisla's goals do separate these sides. Chu, does he have a response?
Oh, but Barra has an answer. Oh, and he answers again. That is the save of the match. We saw a fabulous one from Wu at the other end to deny you-know-who, but that one there moving low to the wrong side. And a big, strong left hand. It was right after that initial save. Goodness me. Barra matching Snizzler for the brilliance at the other end in a goalkeeping capacity.
So
6 from 6.
That is, again, testament to how China has played. China have been creating. They've just not been able to score. Barra has been exceptional. That last play, double save in one passage of play, sensational. And the second of those, as you say, gee, that's got to be one of the saves of the tournament. Still recovering, getting back on his feet. What a play.
And you've got to think, in terms of Chinese morale as well, how disheartening for them to be thwarted by just such athleticism from Barra. You know, they haven't played badly. They've carved out opportunities. They've had 9 shots on goal. Well, Zhu resurrects himself to find the pass to his captain. Confusion in the penalty area for Morocco. They scramble. And China dispossessed, and Snizzler off and away, one-on-one. Chinese cavalry return to back up. Some very, very good defense from Liu. And 20 seconds remaining. Can China get a goal that could get them back into the bronze medal conversation?
So 11 seconds left in this half. I think it's going to take a monumental effort from China in the second half to stand any chance of receiving medals come the end of the day's action. For Morocco, though, 3 goals in the opening half alone is a stupendous achievement. And one that perhaps doesn't accurately reflect how China have played. The fact that Barra has made 6 saves from 6 shots is certainly one. This is going back to the foul, the goals rather. The angle on that being driven wide. This was the absolute magic moment. Keeper going low. Snizzler just continued cutting back inside of players and then unleashed. And China lose possession so quickly is Snizzler able to take advantage and capitalize, get the shot away. And then moments after, he's got nobody but the goalkeeper to beat, the ball in front of him, and can't find the finish to the easiest of the efforts it would have been. But 7 efforts in total, several of them on target, and 3 goals. The tournament's first hat-trick, that's phenomenal return. It's disappointment here though for Ait Badja. He's not going to continue.
Which heralds the arrival of Abdulrazak Hattab to close out this first half, hereby to be known as Snizzler's half. Quite frankly, as the hooter blasts, and that man right there is the difference in this bronze medal match. History is a half away for Morocco in the football 5-a-side bronze medal match right here. They lead the People's Republic of China 3 goals to 0, and it's all because of the work of the hat-trick hero, Zhuhe Snizzler.
China make their way to the change room for a half-time conversation that you suspect is not going to be an overly diplomatic one, but it will be tactically reinforcing. At least that's the hope.
Well, confirmation of the half-time score there, and confirmation of Snizzler's fabulous Patrick, what a joy to be here to see that man in full flight. It's the People's Republic of China 0, Morocco 3 in the bronze medal match of the football five-a-side.
Just going over the match statistics, I think a couple do stand out, and one of them is the fouls committed. Morocco do need to beware. It's traditionally China who are a little more disciplinarily erratic, shall we say, but this Moroccan side is got to watch its discipline. The other thing is China, 62% possession. They're getting more shots away, and indeed, Chu Riming has 9 shots that he's managed to unleash. They have, however, been thwarted with every effort on goal. Morocco making it count.
The players are returning at the Aomi Urban Sports Park for the football five-a-side bronze medal match at the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics. And it's the team right there in white who are firmly in charge after a virtuoso first half performance from their key striker, Zuhair Snizla. A hat-trick in 20 minutes has put the Moroccans only 20 minutes away from history for African football five-a-side against the People's Republic of China.
And for somebody like Captain Berka, what an opportunity to lead his side. He started playing in dusty streets in Morocco, used to put gravel in balls and play with a few of his friends at a school for the blind in Morocco. And now here he is leading his country, who are, as you say, 20 minutes away from an absolutely historic bronze medal here.
Well, yes, you rightly mentioned the humble beginnings of many of these players in finding their way into the game. There's stories of the Brazilians wrapping plastic bags around balls as they play on the dirt streets of Sao Paulo, Rio and Brasilia, and, well, everywhere else there's a flat piece of surface in Brazil, the football-mad country where the game was introduced in the 1970s. It was them who this Moroccan team pushed all the way in the semi-final before succumbing to a very, very cruel own goal from their captain, in fact, and setting up this bronze medal opportunity against China, which they have grasped firmly with both hands. And it is all for China to do, and they'll look to do so through Zhu Roming, their top goal scorer, but he's been out of the goal since entering the knockout stages. He's threatened in the first half, 9 shots taken, 6 on target, but no goals to show. He drags back to create an opportunity, but once again, there's a Moroccan defensive foot in the way. Oh, wonderful play from Yu Yutan, but once again, the quite mercurial goalkeeping prowess of Samir Bara is put center stage, leaping to his right and beating away. A fabulous, fabulous shot from Yu.
The great thing about Barra, he's always inching, he shuffles his feet across, but he stays on his toes, which makes it easier for him to shift his momentum when he does need to make the save. Again, we're shifting to his left, shot came to the right, makes the save with the right, out for the corner. And China, who've been far more dangerous from set pieces, have yet another set piece. Snizzler is, is taking a few warnings here.
Well, China are working the ball around the field rather smartly, looking to beat the Moroccan defence with passing because they can't dribble through them. There's just too many of them and they work too hard. But it'll be a drop ball to restart the game. Now, when it's a drop ball, it's the first time we're seeing this in the match. Right there, you see the referee uses the sideboards for a ricochet, and then the sound system is activated more prominently in the ball, and the players know where the ball is.
But again, grabbing his captain. Morocco are going to make another change here. Badja makes his way back on after an injury in the opening half.
Badja, really been one of their key players. Clearly a strong and uncompromising defender, but he's also been one of the few Moroccan players to lend support to Snizzler up front, adding some attacking relief, because there's a huge amount of responsibility and expectation on Snizzler playing alone up top. Does it well, but he is dispossessed, and Yu will go again. Yu doesn't mind a shot from range, and he's got the weaponry as well to test keepers, as we saw with Barra. We saw it in the semi-final as well. Took a miraculous save from the Argentinian Müller to deny a wicked left foot whip.
Speaking of wicked and wily is Snizzler, who's just got that ball into China's half before he overran it slightly. Good work from Badja here. Doing what he needs to do, and that's cover a great deal of ground and maintain possession. Tries the little back heel, but Morocco don't clear.
Well, it comes off nicely initially for him, but look at that, just a caterpillar of Moroccan shirts. Means that if you beat one, you'll meet another, but that sounds like a nasty injury here.
I think to his wrist or his left arm, the Moroccan defender Kamal Bouhlam, who came on for the injured captain Berka. Gili was subsequently taken off when he made his way back on from injury. So concern for the Moroccan defender. That does not look comfortable, and certainly his reaction suggested it was quite serious.
Not quite enough of the angle to be able to say without question what happened to him. He is clutching his arm around his midriff as he comes off with, as you said, would suggest a wrist or an elbow, something along those lines.
The way he's holding the arm in position, though, is almost suggestive of a shoulder injury or a collarbone injury. So I really hope it's not serious for his sake, because this should be, it was 16 minutes and 47 seconds away from this being an incredibly happy day for him.
Well, Hussam Gili isn't a bad man to bring on in his place, maybe with the feeling of a point to prove, having missed out on the semi-final.
And now you've got that all-Berkan defence back together with Gili and Berka alongside one another.
Just look at the way they work as a defensive trio. They just flood across like this white blanket, harrowing any Chinese player who's on the ball. And conversely, China a lot less hounding in their nature, shall we say.
A lot less hounding in their nature, yes, absolutely. But Snizzler looks like he is absolutely hounding the Chinese for possession. He is continually getting himself into trouble here, and maybe this is why he's been whipped off twice already in this match. foul count rising for Sneasler and for Morocco.
Fouls in football five-a-side working similar to basketball in terms that you've got 5 personal fouls. And once you hit that number, it is so long for the rest of the game. You're allowed to obviously replace the player. It's not a red card. But Sneasler is a man that they'll want to be able to play as many minutes as possible because he is sniper-like in his accuracy of shooting at the moment. We lose some shades in the tackle with the Chinese. Wonderful from Yu, who continues to go, oh, agonizing, as he swung a left limb on his way to the floor. Barra unable to come out and touch the ball at all if it's not in his goalkeeper's area. Really, that was inches away from a good contact and testing Barra once again, but this time from close range.
Right up front, the danger man, and this is much better pressure from China. Clearly, the indication has been impose yourself on the opponents in the second half, and they've done that. They've looked to maintain the possession. They are showing a little more ingenuity on the ball as well, and they are being far more physically imposing as well, rather than just tactically or technically.
Well, that's precisely what they need against this Moroccan team, because they really do not give an inch. Their work rate is tireless.
Sneasler has got 2 sets of shoelaces undone. And
it doesn't make any difference.
It doesn't seem to. You really hope that this is not going to trip him up short. This ball has come back kindly to him after a wicked ricochet for the Chinese players, 3 of whom who collide. He's able to get a shot away here, but again, a little off target from Sneasler, but a reminder of just how dangerous he can be. And the referee has sat him down and said, we need to get those laces done up. Just taking a look back at the shot.
Well, one of the problems that has been perennial during this game for the Chinese is their inability to clear the ball when Sneasler is sniffing around. They do get back in numbers, but they just don't clear the ball emphatically, and too many times Sneasler's coming away with possession from the tangling, and well, as we've seen, he can score from anywhere and in any manner, and given enough opportunities, eventually he's going to score another one. So China, you mentioned their technical skill and their tactical nous. Sometimes you have to be emphatic. You have to just put your foot through the ball, get rid of it, and play the fancier stuff up in Moroccan territory, which they will look to do now. Foul, though, from Morocco. That time the captain, Imad Bakar.
Oh, that's about as incensed as we're going to see Berka, but certainly not happy with that call, feeling aggrieved.
We don't want to sound like a broken record, but truly, these fouls could create issues for Morocco as the game progresses. They need to be mindful of the accumulation. 14 minutes and 7 seconds. A lot of football left in this bronze medal match.
And it is credit to China the way they are playing. They are looking to draw the fouls, and they are very deliberately applying physical and tactical pressure on this Moroccan team. Morocco, however, just keep racking up the foul count. Through Wu Ming up against that side panel.
Well, 4 players in there, and no one really knowing what to do at the moment. It's good body control, very, very good control from China. They work the ball away into some more space. There is room on the left-hand side with Yu Tan, who forced brilliant save from Barra early in the second half exchanges.
Oh, that's quality. Quality defense. How about that from Habib? Habib Aidbaja.
Cries of anguish from Zuhair Snizler. An injury to the midriff. His coach doesn't look too concerned, does he?
Well, when your side's leading 3-0, it's a very comfortable margin, certainly in this game. I mean, if you can score 5 goals in a match, it's a big score. If scoring 3.5 it's sensational, but Snizler is that sensational. So I suspect Morocco are going to be relatively happy, and Driss El Muntaki should be delighted with what he's seen so far. Coach of this Moroccan side.
Yes, El Muntaki constantly vocal from the sideline, as Zhu Yufei. Coaches acting as the midfield guides, the verbal guides from the sideline. They're the Chinese coach there, and they're working with the goalkeepers like Wu Limin. And then the guides, you can see the Moroccan one there, Saeed Himi. He takes care of the attacking guiding for the Moroccans. So, you know, it's not just the 5 players on the field. There's 3 key guides delivering intellectual instructions and giving the players a sense of the geography of the match. And Morocco have a 2-on-1 here, but Snizler sprints onto the ball with too much pace and loses control. Here's China's chance. Can they get back into the game? They rattle the crossbar. Wow. He'd done absolutely everything right. It's the first time that Samir Bara had been beaten. But the crossbar standing in the way of China getting back into this bronze medal match.
Well, this created brilliantly by some Chinese enterprise, and then finding himself behind the Moroccan defense with only the goalkeeper in front of him. Calls from the guide behind as to where he needed to go. He's lifted it again, and that's ultimately let him down. Whizzes beyond Samir Bara in the Moroccan goal, and Zhu Ruming racks up another shot that does not find the back of the net. Some eye shades on the pitch. Referee very happy to hand it back to Liu Meng.
Well, it was a change in tact, wasn't it, from China? We so often see them distribute the ball to the flanks and they try and strike in from those wide channels. But this time, going through the heart of the match, Route 1, to use a very simplistic phrase, but can be very, very difficult to defend. And it evaded the attentions of all the Moroccan defenders, and it's not very often we say that. It created a gilt-edged opportunity for China to close this deficit to 2 and give them some hope. Snizler invites the Chinese defense onto him, who go 10 pinning down onto the floor. He's strong, is the tall, rangy striker for Morocco. Just getting a bit of help from 8 Baja, but lacking the finesse, lacking the control. And this period of the game, it's quite fractured, isn't it? Lost a lot of the rhythm that we had in the first half, and I wonder, does this aid the Moroccans over the Chinese?
100% it aids the Moroccans over the Chinese. China are trying to play slightly more refined football here. They are looking for the deft touches. They are deliberately trying different tactics, and they've just been thwarted at every go. And when they have had an opportunity to play, the eye patch here having come undone of Zhu Ruiming. He's going to be making his way off momentarily, at least, but he's got the shots in. He's just been unable to find the target. I mean, once you're hitting double digits of shots taken and you are struggling to score, it's either credit to the opposing goalkeeper or you know you're not on your game. And I think it's been a combination of both. Frustration creeping in for China, and the greater the urgency becomes, it's almost a desperation from this Chinese side. Morocco will be taking advantage of any mishaps that occur as an unbelievable shot comes in. How did he even release it from that angle? He had defenders on him. Goalkeeper sighted. Snežler scores 4. Morocco now surely on their way. The Atlas Lions are roaring.
Well, what a privilege. What a privilege to see the Moroccan number 9, Zouhair Snežler, in extraordinary form.
Look at the power he's able to generate. Bear in mind, he scored his first 3 with cracking efforts from his left boot. Going to prove that he's got an element of the James Maddison about him, perfectly capable with either boot. Wow, he has smashed that. Absolutely smashed it. Even got some curve on the ball. That's how hard he hit it.
Well, Zouhair Snežler has scored more goals in this game than China have across the whole of the Paralympics. That is how remarkable this performance from the number 9 has been today. You know, our jobs as commentators is to call the action and to give the flavor, but I'm somewhat speechless as to the one-man show that's being put on up top for Morocco, who's seeking out a 5th.
Sometimes you just have to sit back and admire. Trying to have a real chance here. You have to sit back and admire. These are artists who are perfecting their craft in front of us. And Snežler has been nothing short of a revelation. He's been remarkable for a side. While Sami Abare has kept Morocco in the game at times, it's the goal scoring. Goals win you matches, and Snežler has been perplexing for Wu, who's had no answers in goal.
Well, is he finished? Is he finished yet? Maybe not. Trying to lock him up on the side hoardings. And he exercises magnetic control at times, despite the close attentions of 4 Chinese defenders. They're working hard to get more of them behind the ball now. You know how elusive Snežler is, no matter how tightly you cloak your defense over him. Tang goes on a roam. Beautiful from Tang. Unlocks the Moroccan defense. They're in behind, but again, desperate legs. See Snežler back with the ball at his feet and working his way down the left flank. Loses track and gives up on it there for a moment. Maybe slightly tired from his goal-scoring exertions. Will allow him that, I think, on this occasion.
Splendid display, splendid display. That's the thing, is how few teams have actually even scored 4 goals themselves. He's in a match, he's scored 4. He's doubled his goal-scoring tally throughout this match. Came into the game with 4 goals. He's got 8 as of now and a timeout called.
Well, look at that. Look at that. The feelings right there amongst the Moroccans. They know, without getting ahead of themselves, that a bronze-coloured bit of history is beckoning for them. China, well, what is there to say for them? Where do they go from here? They have come up against a one-man goal-scoring phenomenon.
He has been absolutely destructive, like a hurricane. He has blown down the Chinese house. This has been an incredible display. Does not matter which foot the ball is on, he's got that control, he's able to get himself into goal-scoring positions. This was China lining up 3. They had possession, they lost it. Snežler just works his way in behind the defense, and this, the last of them, got some whip on that. And perhaps the reaction by Wu Limin, 31-year-old goalkeeper, tells the story in itself.
Well, he came into this match with 4 goals, second highest goal scorer, trailing the great Espinillo of Argentina with 7. You'd think Espinillo would have the golden boot wrapped up, but Snizzler has bagged 4 goals. He's on 8 for the tournament, and he's still got 8.5 minutes. And you wouldn't rule out more majesty from the Moroccan.
He has majesty as a word that describes him so brilliantly. It's been a poignant performance for Snizzler as well, for an African side that has worked so incredibly hard, particularly over the last 8 years. I think of the club that is the dominant club that forms part of the squad of this Moroccan squad, Renaissance Berkane, and in a sense it has been a renaissance for African football five-a-side. This Moroccan side has dominated on the continent so brilliantly. They beat Mali 5-1 in the final of the African qualifying tournament. They have won all 4 of the continental titles that have been played, and Imad Berke has been the one player who has played in everything. He has been the leader, he's been the inspiration, and he has, in a sense, ignited a passion for football five-a-side, particularly in North Africa. And now there is going to be visible reward. They will have a reward yielded in the form of bronze medals, despite the fact that they've come up against challenges. But Berkane has put a lot of support into all their sports. They have built a new multi-purpose, multi-sport venue. And one of those is with the idea of using it potentially to bid to host a FIFA World Cup in the years ahead. They have seen their football, their handball, their basketball improve, and football five-a-side is undoubtedly one of the most dominant sports. Morocco are proving it here.
We're just looking at that macro picture that you mentioned across the continent of Africa. What will this medal do, not just for Morocco, but for all those other nations? You mentioned Mali, who may have felt dejection at being defeated by 5-1, missing out on the opportunity for the Paralympics, but they can now look at those who defeated them coming back with a bronze medal, most likely, and saying that could be us. That's the level that we are operating at. We are up against maybe the 3rd best team in the entire world.
I think one of the things that is most key is that this is for athletes with vision impairment, and indeed the stigma has been broken down significantly in recent years, and the greatest success that Morocco have achieved. For example, when 5 years ago they took a lead against Brazil and were leading until the final few minutes when Brazil scored a quick 3 to claim a victory over Morocco. The excitement generated by that in itself was phenomenal in the way it helped destigmatize some of the attitudes towards people with impairment. And I think that's something that has continued to happen with further successes, and I think this will, for Africa, for the entire continent, not just North Africa, it will help with the attitudes towards people with vision impairment, people with physical disabilities, or with intellectual impairment. I mean, to prove somebody like Snizzler, how he's been able to score the goals that he has is just testament to what can be achieved.
Will Snizzler help himself to a 5th? That would be truly extraordinary. We've been in disbelief since his 4th, but his appetite for goals, as he's demonstrated today, has been utterly insatiable. And he's got 7 minutes left at the Paralympic goal-scoring buffet. Wouldn't bet against him going for another helping.
Yeah, the buffet, it's a smorgasbord for this man, Snizzler. There's concern over the eye patch of Liu Meng. But Snizzler, the man of the moment, the protagonist. The biggest margin of victory in a football five-a-side match is actually 5. in Brazil against Great Britain, Beijing 2008. Snežler could
do it all by himself.
Yeah, could create history by himself here as Yu Yutan returns.
Well, you mentioned the stigma, and also let's talk about the eyeballs that are on this game, on this Paralympics. And there are many, many non-disability footballers who would pray to have 2 feet like Snežler. He looks so comfortable in possession, and that's part of his threat, that you force him one way, you force him another. Which one's the weaker foot? I couldn't actually tell you.
No, it does tend to go to his left, but the way he finished with his 4th goal, with that right, was unbelievable. So here he is, looking down the left flank again, searching for what would be a record 5th goal if he could find one.
But Morocco go through one of their other outlets, one of their other star performers, Aitbaja. The game opening up now. China squeeze away their first shot in a long time, coming through Tang. And Morocco go right through the heart. Snežler from close range once again, declining the opportunity for the easy finish. He's only interested in the highlight reel today. Saw it in the first half, one-on-one with the keeper, right in front, dragging it wide, and that time on the spin, slicing his effort to the left of the upright.
You spoke about the buffet. That was on a platter for him, and somehow Snežler has gone and again missed out on the opportunity to score from a relatively simple position. And maybe he's a player who does prefer to feel the ball at their feet. Once he's found that rhythm, once he's got the ball rolling at his feet and he's managed to make his way beyond a few defenders, he does tend to be a little more comfortable with finding the finish. 6 minutes. China would need to score 4 goals in 6 minutes to stand any chance of avoiding defeat here. And with this kind of scoreline, you've got to say Morocco they've got more than just one hand on the bronze medal.
One collarbone on the ribbon of the medal, maybe.
The imagery.
But this China side have been excellent. They've come up against an inspired Morocco and an inspired Snežler who's pouring into the area, doesn't have the touch on that occasion. And China deserve a goal for their efforts, not just in this game, but across the Paralympics. They emerged from a group containing Brazil, Japan, much fancied France. France came with huge ambition to this Paralympics. And they saw to those ambitions 1-0. Japan, they defeated 2-0, never easy to play against the host nation. And they had their moments against Argentina in the semi-final, were it not again for an inspired striker in Espinillo. But as things look, China will be coming away with another 4th placed finish, just like they did in Rio. Missed out to Argentina on penalties last time. But things look like they may be more emphatic on this occasion, albeit at the hands of Morocco, who continue to harry in their half of the field. We've spoken of the brilliance of Snežler, but he has been ably assisted by quite the backing troop of Aitbaja, Imad Berka, Hussam Gili, Kamal Boulam. Defensive rocks that have proven impenetrable for this Chinese side today.
Yeah, Berka in particular, I take my hat off to Berka. That's Hussam Gili, but Well, Barra has made some fine saves. We are going to see Said El Mselek make his way on. He's one of the younger squad members who's made his way to Tokyo 2020. He's going to come on for some rare game time. He's played only 18 minutes in total, but he has appeared in 3 separate matches. He makes his way on now for Snisler, who seems to being applauded off in a way that suggests his afternoon is done. He has wrapped up the match. China would need 4 goals in 4 minutes to take this game to a penalty shootout, but Snisler was nothing short of sensational. To go back briefly to the point I was making on Berke, just what he's managed to achieve from when he first started playing for the national team in 2013, having led the side so successfully through qualifying for 2 World Championships. The first of those was here in Tokyo, incidentally, in 2014. And then to 4 straight successes in continental championships in Africa. Somebody who also is motivated to see additional spots booked for African teams, like Cameroon, like Mali, like Cote d'Ivoire, whose teams are relatively strong.
It's great that you mentioned that World Championships in Tokyo. That was back in 2014, and Morocco finished 12th. And you wind forward 7 years and look at where they are now. The progress that has come about under this captaincy of Imad Berke. And looking again as well at the player who just came on, Said El Mselek, 21 years old, his first taste of any global competition. He hasn't played in the World Championships, first Paralympics. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players in their first Paralympics, and there is youth interlaced in the wisdom of the likes of Berke, Barra, and maybe Hatab, although he's only 30 years old. So this isn't a team that we're going to be saying farewell to anytime soon. This is a collection for the future.
That's it, building for the future. It's very much the plan of this Moroccan squad, and as I say, largely helped and aided by the incredible facilities that have been provided by Renaissance Sportive de Berkane. And this is sporting here, because now that they've got the match wrapped up, the only man who's not had any game time in Tokyo 2020 is going to come on for some game time. Samir Bara, the 37-year-old keeper, has played his part sensationally. And the man who's waited for his opportunity is the Berkane goalkeeper, Abdelali Ait Al-Hakem.
Well, I've actually got a bit of goosebumps to see the warm embrace to Barra as he departed the field of play and heralded the arrival of Ait Al-Hakem for his first Paralympic minutes.
Oh, Barra and Snisler are celebrating already. Tab is there with them.
What a journey these guys have been on. Yeah. Not just in Tokyo, but to get here, as we've just been stating.
And when lockdown first happened in Morocco, it was a hard lockdown, and they were not able to train. They were unable to gather. They were unable to be active. And there was some concern about the impact that would have on this team. But every one of the players said, I'm going to take responsibility at home. I'm going to continue training, continue being as fit as I can. And they all did. They pitched up and were ready for training when eventually lockdown eased. And now they are creating history before us.
Changes for the People's Republic of China. Liu Meng entering play for the final 2 minutes, where China will seek to register a goal. They'll seek to register a reward for their attacking trickery and the shots taken, which thus far have been repelled and swatted away by the likes of Berke. As Ayoub Adimi is the next Moroccan man to come on and He'll replace, God, goodness me, the busy Eid Baja. He went off for a minor injury in the first half, but other than that, the man has not stopped moving. Defense, attack, he's been everywhere. And a great moment for Hadimi in his first Paralympics, the 22-year-old. Charged with the great honor of seeing out this match. China lose possession as they seek to strike from the corner. Morocco, as has been their way throughout this match, coming away from the 50-50 challenge, and an unusual sight of Hussam Gili dribbling into the far-reaching fields of the Chinese half. They've been so disciplined in staying back in their half and just defending for their lives and making life awfully uncomfortable for the Chinese. But he's back, Hussam Gili, after his brief cameo up top to just shepherd the ball out of play. Albeit it came off a Moroccan player last, so China will have maybe one last corner to fashion a consolation goal. They look to do so with a whip shot from Zhu, off balance, leaning back, too high, too wide. And that, sadly, has been the story of his shooting in this bronze medal match.
He's not missed by much on any of his shots, bar one, but what he has managed to do is find some space, get the shots in. While he's had a dozen efforts at goal, he's yet to score, largely being thwarted by Bara. The timeout coming here, an opportunity to rehydrate for the players on the pitch, but ultimately this Morocco timeout is going to be the mandatory one. We'll just take the timeout because we've got it. And into the next 63 seconds they will go, knowing that they are champions. It's very rare. Look at the emotion building up already. You can see tears pouring down the face of Said El Mselek, the 21-year-old who made this squad post-lockdown, comes to his first international event and somehow is on the podium.
Kalmal Boulam in for Gili with a 1,000-megawatt smile as well as he comes onto the field. Real scenes of triumph, but breaking out before the end of this match. But that's because the bronze medal is assured. China will continue to fight. Morocco will continue to seek more goals. Looks like there may have been a minor deflection from a Chinese player. And I would venture that for the first time today, we might see a little bit of anti-football from Morocco as they'll try and wind the clock down for the final 54 seconds. Because they're under great pressure from the men on the bench so that they can explode with joy.
An element of expectation, but China looking for a consolation. This could be on, and despite the run, no final shot taken as the ball just got away from the attacker.
Zhong did everything right, but be able to find the finish. Ball trickling away from under his spell at the crucial moment. That's really been the difference between these sides. 23 shots for the Chinese, 16 for Morocco. Morocco with 4 goals. Or will it be 5? Clumsy challenge. Free kick called. Said El Mselek. Imagine if he had added a 5th. He would have been in dreamland.
There is still all of 12 seconds for him to add a 5th. But you can imagine just what this means to Morocco. There has been this goal going back now for nearly a decade that they would be competitive on the global stage, that they could do something like podium in the Paralympic Games. The opportunity has been seized gloriously with both hands by this squad, and the Atlas Lions have absolutely roared to a commanding lead. They're about to not only conclude, but secure a famous and historic bronze medal.
Last seconds counting down of the bronze medal match between China and Morocco. And the men in white are history makers. Bronze history makers for North Africa. Magnificent Morocco and sizzling Snizzler have beaten the People's Republic of China 4-0, and they are the bronze medal champions.
You've got to feel for the disconsolate Chinese players. They know they had a decent tournament, they have a good global pedigree, and they are a side that is difficult to challenge. It's not been their day, and utterly collapsing in disappointment. Crestfallen is Zhu Riming. He recognizes that today could have been his chance, and he is lost out to a man who had everything going for him. Snizzler was sensational, and Coach Tris El Moutaki is being celebrated for his leadership. Snizzler, on his own, is thankful for his goals, but Morocco, Berka in particular, the captain, he said he wanted to honor the continent when they left Morocco for Japan, and they have done that here with a dream podium place.
It is Morocco who take home the bronze medal at Tokyo 2020 Paralympics. They and their virtuoso striker Zuhair Snizzler have defeated the People's Republic of China 4-0. Well, the Chinese team graciously taking a lap and soaking up a reflective moment of their time here in Tokyo. Their coach right in the heart, looking to tell his players that they did a great job, but they came up against a side possessed, a side obsessed in putting African football five-a-side on the global map. A performance from their young number 9, Zuhair Snizzler, that will go down in the annals of Paralympic football five-a-side. 4 goals to the 22-year-old. Quite extraordinary demonstration in precision finishing. And it's tops off, it's flags out, it's songs all night. Morocco utterly elated at securing the bronze medal.
China, though, are the side that dominated these statistics. I mean, they were better with the foul count. They certainly limited their fouls. They had the greater possession. They were able to fashion more shots at goal, but weren't able to score the critical goals. And as a result, they find themselves losing out, finishing 4th to a Moroccan side who claim this historic podium place, a dream bronze medal for the Atlas Lions.
Bronze medal match at the Aomi Urban Sports Park. It is China who will end the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics with another 4th place finish, as they did at Rio, defeated by an inspired Morocco. They had their moments, they fashioned their opportunities, but it was Morocco's marksman, Zuhair Snizla, who was in sublime form. 4 goals to the young number 9. 4 goals to take Morocco to somewhere they've never been before. A podium place at a Paralympics. The bronze medal goes to Morocco. They defeat the People's Republic of China 4-0.